BATJAC J.W. It's unboxing time with a Uberti. This one here is a cap and ball revolver. As you guys know, I've been getting into that, and it is way too much fun. I definitely must say, it's been. Where's it been? Why have I not done this? This one's a Remington, like I said, 1858 Navy 36 caliber. So let's go ahead and open it up. I got this one from Dixie Gun Works, and here's all the booklets, instructions, and all that. And here's the gun. Really cool. 7-inch barrel. I think it's like 7 and 3/8 or something like that, to be exact. But really cool. These are just super cool. I tell you, beautiful stuff. When I started getting into these, I got to tell you, there was something about it that I got to say that I thought I was expecting something to be for the price now, because I mean, I'm not saying that they're cheap, but in compared to, for say, like the ones that I bought, like I got a Uberti 3840 single action revolver that will run you close to the numbers of $600. Now, when you got something like this, where these things are costing half the price of that, you can't help but think that you're expecting to receive something pretty tacky and shoddy in the mail. But that's not the case. Look at that. And from what I understand, yes, this one was made in 2020. Look at that. Uberti logo and everything. So cap and ball, these you can get them. There's nothing else required really. They're really neat. I am a big fan of Pale Rider, so that's part of the reason why I like these and gravitated towards these. It's got a brass trigger guard there and all that, and fairly smooth on the action. You can see almost zero effort just to cock that thing. You don't really want to dry fire them all that much, because you're damaging the cones there for the percussion caps. And as you guys know, I also have what I think is one of the coolest ones, is the Remington pocket gun. Now, side by side, you can just see the size comparison of that thing. This is the 31 caliber pocket gun by Remington. So the other thing that's a big difference, if you see Uberti or Pieta, Uberti does not. They are very discreet with the markings. In fact, where Uberti does put them is in a smarter place, which is on the bottom here. Oops, I'm going to bump the camera. On the bottom here, you can see that's where they put all their markings and everything. Now, Pieta, I guess it really doesn't bother me, but if you're doing like a movie or using it for a prop, like a lot of my buddies do, and they're in filmmaking, it does kind of be a sight for sore eyes when Pieta kind of slathers all their logoing and all that stuff all over the sides. Logoing, is that even a word? All right, so let's go ahead and so let's talk about the takedown, because that's part of the cool thing about this revolver. And it reminds, like I said, Pale Rider is just so cool. And the grips on this is really nice, nice reddish grip. Okay, so how does it come down? You put it on half cock here, and then you take down the loading lever. That's a plunger to put the powder and the balls in there and all that. So then you just pull this base pin right there, and the cylinder comes right out. Try not to drop it on this. It got a chunk of steel right there. So there it is. Super cool. Really cool. So for loading, this does make this a lot easier, because now I can sit there on the table with this and put my powder charge in the chambers, put the wad over, and then push the wad down in there, and then take it and put it back in the gun, and put the balls, seat the balls with the lever, and do all 6 or whatnot if you're at the range. So now when you put them back in, the Remingtons are a little bit different. So when you put them back in, now what you're going to run into is this, the hand that rotates the cylinder. And what you got to do is you put this cylinder in, and when you get it in there, you start to rotate it, and you'll feel it go into place. And then you kind of match it up and then push the rod back through. Then you can close her up. Now, like I said, that's the beauty of the Remington, is once you do that, now I have got all the powder charges in there and the wads over them to hold that powder charge in place. Now I can sit there and I can set the musket ball, or the ball right there, and then each one punch them in there, and then we're good to go. Then which I do. You could just use a capper or whatnot, but I do know that the snail capper, the Ted Cash snail capper, has a harder time with the Remingtons. They weren't really made for them because the opening is a little more narrow. And what I mean by that is right here. Now, like Mike Bellevue, a great channel, Duelist 1954, he shows you how to open that up with a Dremel, and then that way you can use the capper. But I'm not about altering it like in that matter. I don't really care. When you go to the range with these things, speed is not exactly something you're going for. You're going for, I mean, this is just for me. I can speak for myself. The history, the fun part of it is the mess, the gears, the gadgets, all that stuff for making these things work. And that's what it's all about. It's really cool. It's historical. That's what it's all about. So I'm not really trying to go there and you know, see how fast I can shoot 17 rounds or something like that. No, this is just something really, really cool to mess with. Now, like I said, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take the cylinder back out. Once I seat the balls, I'll take the cylinder back out and push all of my caps back on there, and then put it back in there and ready to go. All right. So at the range, you know, sometimes if you're really into the SAS and the cowboy action shooting, you would load 5 because that's just what they do, and then you would want that hammer to seat down on an empty chamber, if you would. But it does have these notches, and they have these notches cut into the cylinder so you can lock it in between, and what it's resting on is right there in between, so that you can safely load all 6 and carry it like that. And that's the way they would. But you know, if you're doing those matches and stuff like that, you traditionally load 5. With my single action, my 45 Colt or 3840, I always have loaded one, skipped one, and rest the hammer on an empty chamber. It's just out of habit. That's the way I originally started doing it, so I don't break that habit. But you know, at the range, I don't mind loading up 6 of these and plinking away at some steel and smell of that black powder in the air. So thanks for watching, you guys. There it is, the Remington cap and ball unboxing for you, and it's been a lot of fun.